Hi everybody, it's me again, Charles Jones from Sports Solutions LLC. We are the creators of Athletic SOS, and it is a software technology that allows you, if you're trying to get an athletic scholarship, we can help you find all of the colleges that you academically qualified to attend that have your sport and offer athletic scholarships. And so it's a big game changer. And this one is going to be a little bit long. If you just want to use the software at no cost, just go down below. In the description down below, I give you a code. I give you the instructions for how to use the code, and then you can just use it. It doesn't cost you anything. It is for you. You know, I want everyone to be able to have an opportunity to use it. But we've gone way beyond that. If you guys have been following me for a little bit, you know we're trying to go beyond you just not having the knowledge of all of the schools that you qualify for. We want to give you an advantage over everyone else. And so the phase one of this thing has been giving you all the schools, and then we wanted you to go and find the schools that fit you and then reach out to them. But we want to go a little bit further than that even. So if you guys go on this journey, because I'm doing the same thing with my business, I'm trying to prove there is a formula for positioning yourself so that you can get everything that you want in life. The things that you're trying to accomplish, you can do it, but there's a formula to it. There has to be a formula to it, and that's something that I'm really into. So you have to find a way to stand out. Now, phase one of us standing out and giving ourselves an advantage is we are going to reach out to all the schools that we academically qualified to attend, we are interested in attending, and let them know we exist in this world. You have to let people know you exist. This is hugely important, and this is something I found out as I was trying to navigate my career in systems back during my career. If you don't let people know what you're interested in and where you are and that you exist, there's no way for them to know. And so if you're this, you know, this is really interesting to us, and this isn't going to be a little bit long, but I think it's important that you guys understand where we're going, because I want you guys to go along with me on this journey, and I'm going to keep giving you tools. I'm going to keep dumping things at you, but I have to do a little bit of research to make sure I can get us there. So back in 1984, the Olympics were last in LA, and we're going to get them back again here in a few years. I think 2028, we're going to get them back here. But back then, because it was in LA, it was all over the place, and we had boycotted the 1980 Olympics in Russia, and then they were boycotting the 84, so it was everywhere, right? And so it was one of the first times I really paid attention to the Olympics. And so back then, in the old days, you didn't just get to see things in real time. One of the TV stations here, and I think it's ABC, because they had the Wide World of Sports. I'm not 100% sure on that, but whoever had it at that point, they would show you the medal round on TV, and they would just skip from thing to thing to thing to thing. And so I started really paying attention to it. And so I got caught up one time, and I'm watching the diving medal round. And so it was I almost remember, it was the 10-meter diving. And so I'm watching everybody go through their routine. I think you get like 11, and so they show you the last 2 rounds or something like that. And so I'm watching it, and there are these divers from all these different countries, and so I'm watching them, and I'm learning about diving. It's the degree of difficulty, and then that you nail the dive. And the important thing is your technique and how you enter the water, no splash. All these things are going on. So I'm picking up on it. I kind of got a feel for it. And so there were these 2 divers from China. There was a diver from Australia, I think, and there was a diver from the United States that had gone. And I'm watching these divers from China. They're really thin, slim guys, and they're diving, and their technique is just, I'm watching it. I don't know that much about diving, but I know their technique looked good. I mean, everything was just precise. When they entered the water, it was just a little, you barely knew they went in, right? And that's what you want to do. That means your technique is good. And they're getting these high scores, and I'm watching everybody else go through, and they're diving great. I can see they're in the Olympics, so they must be pretty good at what they're doing, even though I don't know it that well. But their scores were never there, and I go, wow, no one's going to be able to press these people. They're going to win at least the gold and silver at the very least, right? And maybe somebody else will come in. And then all of a sudden, this American gets up there, and even the announcers, I can tell in the way they were talking how they changed their vibe. And then this guy came out. He went to the edge of that platform, and then he jumped off and he did his dive. And I don't know anything about diving, but I knew one thing. This kid, whoever he was, had it. And his name was Greg Louganis. And I don't know anything, but it was so graceful. It was so smooth, and it was precise. it was just different than what everyone else did. And the only thing that I remember about that, there's always a 1/10 of a point for the Olympics that makes the difference between you winning a medal and just being completely and being in 8th place. It was just so weird how they score things, and it just seemed so arbitrary to me. But the score he had, I think he had like in the 700s. Everybody else was in the 6s. And I don't mean the high 6s. They were just in the 6s, maybe 611, 600. He had like 700. He was so far apart that it wasn't even close. And that just nailed it in my head. I go, I don't know anything about diving, but I know what I just saw was special. And that person has it. And so this is the second phase of what we're going into for giving you guys an advantage. I got to figure out, I had to figure out, what makes you get selected, right? Everybody's doing all the same thing. So what do we tell you guys for the first part of our software for Athletic SOS, which you can get down below? We're showing you all the schools you qualified for, and we're telling you to reach out. How many schools did you reach out? We get that all the time. I'm going to say now, as I've started researching this, I would do 50, I would do 100 schools. I told you guys before you didn't need to do that many because, you know, maybe 10, 15, 20, because you're trying to find schools you want to go to, and that's why I was trying to limit you guys to not just go crazy. But you should get even more than that, because you just have to get it right one time, and the more opportunities you have for someone to see you, this is one of the keys to success. You have to put yourself into in front of many people as you can possibly do. And so you've got all these schools here. Find the schools that academically you qualify for and make the most sense for you, and do as many as possible. Let them know you're interested in them. Let them know where you're going to be, and now you got to perform. And so phase 2 of this is if everyone's doing the same thing, right? Whether you're at a viewing tournament, a showcase, combine, whatever it is in your world where coaches are trying to see if you're good enough, there's a couple of things that you have to make sure you pull off. You have to make sure you're competing at the same level of other kids that can actually play at the collegiate level. One of the biggest mistakes I see people do is they put themselves in a position where, let's say it's an individual sport, they can get great times and scores and all that kind of stuff, but there's no pressure on them. They're better than everyone else there. And so if there's no pressure on you, you can perform really well. But what the college coaches want to see is, how do you perform when someone else is in your bracket or in your group that is just as good as you? What does that look like? And that's what they're trying to find out. So don't just hide yourself out and keep winning and have the fastest time in the 100. And what happens if somebody's right there with you neck and neck? Can you beat them? Because that's nerves. That's being a human being. And that's why I always say sports is going to be around no matter what happens in this world. Okay. All right, guys. Sorry about that. I had to move the camera a little bit. I was staring directly into the sun. Summer's here in Southern California. It's a beautiful day. So we're going to have a really good next few weeks. Spring's going to be just marvelous around here. We had all that rain before. This is just amazing how our city looks. Okay, so if we're all doing the same thing, how do I stand apart? You know, you go out there, and especially if it's a team sport, you get out there and you try to, everybody's trying to do their very best, and there's only a moment of availability for you to shine. You know, you don't always get to have the ball in your hand or be up at bat or be whatever sports you have, right? The ball is in your court and you're doing whatever you need to do. So how do you stand out? What makes you different than everyone else? And as I say that, everybody listening to me right now has seen someone who's been to a sporting event and they've looked across whatever the sport is and they go, something's different about that kid. That kid has it. The power of it is where we want to go. And so now, how do we get the power of it? And I've been on this since my daughter, almost 10 years ago, went through all of this stuff. The interesting thing about it, the school that she ended up going to was not one of the schools we reached out to. Remember, I told you this is how I figured this out. Her coach at her high school happened to have been a former junior college coach, and then he came down. He had retired, but he came down to help out the high school coach because he knew the athletic director, and they asked him to come down. And so he's the one that kind of told me the best way to do this is how to reach out. He had a database of all these colleges and their coaches and their contact information. He sent out the letters on his letterhead, and he wrote some really nice things about my daughter, her ability to play. We put some video in there, and then that's how we sent these things out. And she ended up getting a scholarship, but the school she got the scholarship to was the one she wanted to go to, and that's what I'm trying to get you guys to do. Go to the school that fits you. This school fit her, but it wasn't one of the schools that we sent the letters out to. And I know that seems counterintuitive to what we're always talking about, but you don't know where that offer is going to come from. So here's what happened, though. It wasn't the head coach at that college that wanted my daughter. It was the recruiting coach that wanted my daughter. and she saw her by fluke. My daughter we went with a travel club program, went all across the country. The school she ended up going to, the school that kept on sending was a school that assistant coach saw my daughter playing in a little local tournament. She was filling in and helping out a team that didn't have all their players, and so she just played with them just to help them out. But that coach was looking at another kid and had been following that kid around the gym, and then happened to see my daughter play, and then she started following my daughter around. And so so I said, what was it that made the difference for you? She goes, I can't put my finger on it. It was just it was her intensity, her intelligence, how she's playing the game, and how she's helping out her teammates. There's all these things you don't know, but she goes, she had it. She had exactly what we need. She had what we don't have at our school, and that's what she was trying to do. So she understood. And the interesting thing about all of this is my daughter ends up going to that school, and that coach left before my daughter got there, because my daughter was going into her senior year. It was the summer after her junior year, going into her senior year. They made the offer, we accepted, and then that coach met us at the airport, took us all around, really loved my daughter, the way she played. And then she ends up leaving before my daughter even goes to the school the following year. And she got an opportunity to be a coach somewhere else herself and got a head coaching position. But that coach understood the little things. She knew what she didn't have. She knew what she saw, and she saw a way to implement that into their program. My daughter did not play like the other kids that were playing there, so she saw that. Those are the kind of people that make it in the world. I got to follow up and see what she's doing now, in fact, because she understood what needed to be done. So, what is it? None of us really know what it is. We can tell the kids that are separated, the Gaines of the world separate themselves, right? But everybody else is in this big pool. How do I stand out? So you want as many people watching you as possible. You want them to know that you want to play for them, and then we got to get you the it factor. And so I think I found a way to do it. And so I call it the pillars of athletic success. And there's 4 of them. Well, actually, there's more than that. We're going to do those later. But these are the 4 I'm going to start with. So one is vision. And the next one is cognitive. And then there is metacognitive. And then there is oxygen. And so I know these sound woo-woo, astrology, palm reading. I get it. But I've been really looking at this. And so let me try to explain myself. So vision. Most of us think we see, we have vision, right? We can see where we're going. We don't bump into things, all that kind of stuff. But our brain automatically dismisses 90% of what we're seeing in our eyes. You can walk into a room. In fact, the room you're in right now, wherever you're watching this, there's something. If you look around right now, there's something in your room, the room that you're looking in, that you didn't even register in your brain. Look around right now. You'll see some stuff. You'll see something sitting in the corner. You'll see something next to your TV, or you forgot to take something downstairs. It's wherever you are, you need to take that plate off. Whatever. There's something going on. Start paying attention to the stuff that you don't pay attention to, and you'll see that I'm absolutely right. When I leave here, I'm going to go to a grocery store. It's Easter Sunday, right? I got to go to the grocery store. When I walk, I know what I'm going to get. I will walk by thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of items, because I'm just trying to go get something, so my brain will get rid of all that other stuff and just let me go to where I'm going. I'll make sure I navigate. I see it, but I don't register it. Our brains are smart enough to do that for us. So that's your vision. So imagine as an athlete, if you can expand your vision. How do you train your vision? I found out how. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Next, we want to go to cognitive. You see stuff, your brain has to register so you can react to it, right? So the quicker your vision and your cognitive work together, the faster you're going to be able to see something and move on it, and that's going to make a difference. Can we improve that transition, that movement? I saw it, my brain took care of it, told my body what to do, boom, I'm there. I've taken care of it. So that's vision to cognitive. Can we train that? And I'm going to tell you we can. Next is our metacognitive. Now, what is that? Now, if anything sounds all frou-frou, it's this metacognitive thought process, right? So, metacognitive I consider seeing around corners. But really what it is that you've watched some game film, or you've seen something before. You've been playing this game for a long time if you're playing at the high school level. And so you notice things. You can see patterns. You start to pick them up. Even if you haven't watched film on a team or a person or something like that, you've been around this long enough, and you start to see things and you anticipate. You already know it's going to happen. Or the instant it happens, you move immediately because you know where this is going, and you're cautious enough to know, okay, I don't want to get burned back over here. They may be trying to trick me. So you may be a little bit on the spot where you go, oh, look, you're really seeing the 360 of what's going on. You're so far ahead of everybody in a cognitive world. You've moved past regular cognitive, and now you're in metacognitive. You're the person who just sees what's going on. You're one step ahead of everybody on the court, and the people in the stands can see this. Now, I've gone vision, I've gone cognitive, I've gone metacognitive. What is this nonsense about oxygen, right? Why would that be a big deal? Because one of the biggest things for people is getting nervous when time starts running down, or when you, let's say you have to make a free throw at the end of the game, or you got to make this field goal, or you have to make a play. You're down, you're behind by one. You guys need to get the ball back. Something needs to happen. Can you make it happen? And the people that can make it happen have a ability to calm themselves down, and that is your oxygen. That is your breathing. If you can nail that piece of it, then you will be the calmest. You'll sort of have this stoicism. You'll walk, you'll move. Everything you do, that feeling of confidence you will have is beyond anything else. And I pulled all of those pieces together. And the reason I'm doing this video today, and why this is so important, and why I'm so excited about it, is we're moving from the athletic SOS stuff, and we're moving to these pillars. This pillar piece is, I found the pieces. I found what you need to train to be better at these items. I found what it's going to take to make, when those coaches come out to see you, you have it. You have that in you. They can see it. They won't know what it is. They won't know what we did. They won't be calling it the pillars. It won't be vision, cognitive, metacognitive, oxygen. None of that stuff will come in their head. They'll go, this kid gets it. This kid has it. I want this kid with me. And that's where I'm trying to get you guys, the advantage. I want you guys to have this advantage. And so I found the pieces. Some of it is some equipment, and the people that are already in this field, way smarter than me, trust me. They have been doing this stuff for decades. And so they're in that position to be able to help. And I've convinced them, let's move this over to youth sports. And that's where we're going. And I got a commitment from them. And so all I'm telling you guys right now, and I'll give you more information later, we will be in Las Vegas the weekend of November 10th, 11th, and 12th. We'll be at an event called the Big Boys Toys. It's a luxury expo that's going out there. I don't even think it's that big, but I've secured a spot. I paid for it out of my own money. It's that important to me, and I've got a commitment from these people that are pioneers in the world of vision, cognitive, metacognitive, and oxygen training. And I'm going to try to figure that out. And so one of the things we're going to do in Athletic SOS, I'm growing. You got to be a member of Athletic SOS. I got to figure out how to get that from how they do it into a place where you can do some of it online, that I can give it to my members. And so that's where we're going with this. And I am thrilled about this. This is like a next level for us. So please join Athletic SOS. You can sign up. It doesn't cost you anything. And we're going to take this journey together. And I'm using all this stuff for my business. And I can tell you, it absolutely works. We are growing at a rate that's almost kind of scary for me, right? And I have not taken on any more investment money or anything like that. I'm growing this thing my way. And one of the reasons I'm doing that is we're going to take all the stuff we're doing, and you guys are going to get your athletic scholarship, I hope, and then you're going to be able to move on and do that thing. But we're going beyond that. We want you to be set up for the rest of your life. So if you guys stick with me on this thing, we're going to have you set up so when you're done playing, you're going to be prepared to do the next and the next and the next and the next. It's not just about the athletic scholarship. This is just a piece of it that's getting us started. And you guys will notice the other thing is, don't stop the other stuff you're doing. We are an and. So if you want an advantage, you got to do what everybody else is doing, but then you got to go, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing this. And that's where you're going to set yourself apart from everybody else. That's where somebody's going to say, I want them with us. And that is what it's all about, for you to have a successful life. In my opinion, you're going to have to put yourself out there in front of as many people as possible. You got to give yourself the most opportunities, and then when you get those opportunities, you've got to stand out from everyone else. And so I'll go into more of this later. It is Easter Sunday. I hope you guys have a beautiful Easter Sunday. Family, people, I know I put on this all the time. Family is going to be the most important. I hear a lot of times people telling young men especially, and young women too, go get on your grind, get your education, get your job, don't get locked down with anybody and all that stuff. I'm completely opposite of that. I'm thinking, while you're in college, while you're younger, find somebody that wants to work with you, that wants to grow with you, and you guys try to move together in a group. And I don't want to get too much into, you know, the dynamics of all of that stuff, but I think you want to make sure you lock down. If you see the right person, if you're around, if that is there, then go for it. But it's very important. I think family, you got to have a reason to do all this stuff. I know you want to accomplish for yourself, but that's not going to be enough. And I'm old enough to know, and I'm around people with a ton of money, but they grind and grind and grind, and you got to do some grinding. But if you do all of that and you don't have any reason to do it, now some people can say, hey, I'm doing it for everybody else. That's good enough for me. And if that's the case, that's fine. But if you think you're going to just do it for yourself, there's going to be a point in your life where you're going to go, wow, you're going to look around and you're going to be alone. It's going to be Easter. It's going to be Christmas. It's going to be Thanksgiving. It's going to be one of those holidays, and you're going to be like, oh my goodness, what just happened? Now you can still come out of that because you can get with another group of people that you can make a difference for. And one of the keys to success is impact and external impact. And that's what you want to, it's got to impact somebody else. Otherwise, if it's only impacting you, it's not going to be as fulfilling as you think it's going to be. It's going to feel good getting there because that's the search, that's the march towards something. That's where you, and when you finally reach it, that's going to be the first time, when you finally reach something that you really, really want, it's going to be the first time you're going, okay, now what? Because it was the march towards it that was really the exciting part, because the uncertainty of whether or not you're going to get there, that's the thing about it that makes life. That's what living really is. And so if you get there and you don't have any reason for being there, I mean, other than that you got there, then you're going to be looking for the next thing. And so, but if you have somebody that you're doing it for, that you made an impact on, it's going to make a big difference. That's why this is so much fun for me. I'm going to impact you guys, but I'm learning so much as I do this, and then I'm going to be able to pass this down my line on the things that we're doing. But anyway, I went way off on a tangent there. But again, if anybody wants to use Athletic SOS, any kind of travel club program, any high school program, any organization that works with young people and they want to motivate them, maybe it's just a small piece of your organization, some of the kids are athletes and you want to bring this into your program, just contact us at info@athleticsos.com. If you guys have any questions about anything I've said, if you're concerned about anything, just go ahead and send that to the email. It'll get to me. I have some other people now that are opening these emails, but they give me almost anything. If there's a question, something they can't answer, they always ask me, and we try to get into that. And it's one of the reasons I did this, because a lot of people are writing in going, okay, it's springtime. Should I join a travel club program? What kind of camp should I go to in the summer? Should I go to the college camp? Should I go to a known camp that, you know, in that field? Should I play with my high school team? What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? And so that's one of the things I want to do. I want to make sure that you feel like you're on the right path, that you've reached out to enough people, and that you have a plan for shining when that moment comes where you have to perform. Okay, everybody's there. They came to see you. They know you're interested in them. You've got your grades together. You've taken the SAT, ACT. You're at this exposure event now. Now let me see what you got. And everybody out there is doing their very best, but you have it. And so I want to see if we can pull that off too. All right, guys. As always, best of luck to you in all your endeavors. Enjoy your Easter Sunday, and we'll be back next week, and we're going to keep going on this. I got a lot of stuff that I want to talk to you guys about. I only put the videos out once a week. I know you guys keep writing saying, how come I don't do more? But I also am trying to build the software up and then find these other things for you, and I'm going to bring you a lot of cool stuff. Go on the journey with us, and we'll have a great time. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.